Hello, I'm Mary Yañez, and this is Mature Living. Thank you for joining us. We want to have a conversation this morning with Rosa Guerrero, and many of us have known her for many, many years. We want to also invite you to the Seniors Love Conference. And of course, this is Mature Living, the show that brings you information about activities for seniors and for family members. And as we talk to Rosa, I do want to say that we are going to have her at the Love Conference on February 17th. It's a free conference for seniors at the community college. And she's going to be our keynote speaker. She's going to be honored with a Lifetime Achievement Award. And we're just going to get a little preview today of what she's going to talk about. Our theme that day is going to be making connections. Where there is love, there is life. Rosa, thank you so much for being here with us.
Thank you, Mary. I'm delighted. I'm delighted always to be at the community colleges programs. You have fabulous educational programs. You have fabulous people that's going to talk about anything. So yes. I am delighted. Thank you for having me.
You know, you are a very popular speaker, because you're a motivational speaker, you're inspirational, and I know that talking to our peers, the seniors at the Love Conference, is going to be a real highlight for them as well as for us.
Yeah, they're going to learn a lot. I want to invite all the seniors in El Paso. This is a conference that Mary Yañez puts every year here at the community college, and it's wonderful. It is just wonderful because the people learn a lot. And that day, I'm gonna show how you can move. You can stay fit while you sit. I'm gonna do a demonstration. I made a DVD that's gonna be coming around soon, and someday you're gonna use it. I hope at the community college and other people that are elders. But I want them to come to learn. You're gonna have free lunch. You're gonna have activities. You're gonna have speakers, and I'm gonna be the keynote speaker. So that day, I'm gonna show you stay fit while you sit, because you can do that.
What do you do?
I've done 78 years, so I have to use a cane now. I have to use, but it's just okay. I'm a senior. I'm 83 years old. I don't mind saying it.
Yes.
My heart and my spirit is 18. My body's 183 because I can't walk anymore, but I go to the water at 6 o'clock in the morning to the YWCA on Brown Street, and I do my water aerobics. Quietly, peacefully. I do my water aerobics, things that I cannot do on land. The water helps you. Yes. The water heals. The water gives you life, and water is life. The world cannot live without water. Yes. So now the water is helping me very much, yes. Or else I can't move that week.
Yes, and you read, I understand.
Yes.
And you pray.
And I pray because praying gives you that spiritual, meditational move with our Maker. And our Maker can give you that strength that you need spiritually, emotionally, psychologically, physically, mentally, and that helps me moving. And I can sit down and do all the footwork and stuff, which I will do for you all on the 17th of February. I'll do my demonstration, I'll do my rebosos, I'll do my castanets, yes. I'll do all my stuff. And my hair will be different, and you're going to see a different Rosa Guerrero.
Wonderful. I so look forward to that. One of the things that I've asked is, I want you to invite your friends.
Yes.
You know, because
I'm going to invite my ex-students. Yes.
Your former students and your
yes.
ex-students.
My former students are senior citizens now.
Okay.
They are senior citizens. They are grandparents. They're retired. I am recycled. I am not retired. I'm recycled, but they are beautiful, and I still get together with them, especially the class of '69, Austin High School. I mean, we have little reunions, and I have to see them. Next year, they'll have their 50th anniversary. They're going on a cruise. I won't be with them because I'm too old for a cruise now. You have to do things when you're young, because this world is too short, and this life is too short.
Kind of an early retirement.
Yeah, I think if you're going to retire, move, do something, volunteer, yes. Get active, learn how to paint, learn how to join literature classes or book classes.
And we have many classes
yes.
with our seniors, free classes for senior
That's
citizens.
wonderful. You have wonderful classes. Or in your church, whatever your denomination, go and learn more about your faith. We all can learn more every day.
Yes. One of the things that I know people might be thinking for me to ask is, Rosa, You have a history of a performance, of being a teacher, a humanitarian, a speaker. Tell us about your trayectoria, your journey through
My
your
journey. Well, it's been
you
hard.
started
It's not
as
easy.
a teacher.
It's not easy. I started, my husband and I got married when we were 19, immature embryos. I just lost him May 29th, 2016, and I miss him very much. But he knew that was a very active person. He was a beautiful, very quiet introvert. I called him a beautiful breeze who married a Texas tornado. I'm a Texas tornado. I'm still at my age, I'm still a Texas tornado. But that's all right. I only want a few years to live. We don't know how long. But when we die, that's okay. We are born to live, to give, to love, to serve, and the journey to die. And no, don't be afraid of death. Death is part of life.
Yes.
Death is part of life. It's just a journey. It's just a journey, a transcendence into another world. That's it.
Yeah, a better,
Yes, a
place,
better
they
world.
say. And so as we grow older, and I know you probably, we mentioned when we introduce you and when you get honors, is that you've been a teacher, you've been a creator of a dance performance.
Yes, the folklorico. I started the first folkloricos in the 70s. Burgess High School was my first folklorico in 1970. And Mr. Chavez, the principal, says, "What are you going to do?" "I'm going to teach them folklorico." "Why?" "Well, they could learn who they are." There's no curriculum in the schools that teaches who we are as Mexican American. Who are we? We're beautiful people. Here, the border, we're just beautiful people, and then I started my folklorico at community college. You were there at the barracks at Logan Heights. I started the first folklorico at the community college.
Dr. Alfredo de los Santos invited you to come and
Dr.
teach the
Alfredo de los
president.
Santos, come and teach folklorico. You have the expertise, you have the background, the blah, 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 all of that. But then when I was starting my own folklorico, my international ballet folklorico.
Yes.
I had too much to do, so I gave the job to Sylvia Camañez, who was a beautiful teacher. She had all that background and resources from Juarez.
Yes.
With a beautiful Professor Francisco in Juarez, and I think I told her, I said, "You could do that." So she started the folklorico at the community college, built a beautiful program, and then you have wonderful programs here at the community college, and I'm sorry to say that the community college doesn't teach folklorico anymore. Then Rodolfo Hernandez, my dear friend from Paso del Norte, was teaching the folklorico here, and all of a sudden they got away with it. They did away with the curriculum, which is sad. Because we need it. You have senior citizens, elders that can learn folklorico.
And we have a class
Yes.
in folklorico at the community
Yes,
college.
you
so
have it. And Lupe teaches it, right?
Yes,
Lupe
Lupe
used to be one of my students.
Yes.
And many of my students are now directing groups.
You know, you have been a role model for all of us over the years, and we've been watching you and listening to your lessons, your conversations, your thoughts. Very unique thoughts, by the way. And I had a dream. That we had switched. Would you believe? So, I don't know. And I said,
It was not a nightmare?
Yeah, no, it wasn't. But we want to thank you for being with us and for encouraging our seniors to
Yes.
come to the Love Conference on February 17th from 9 to 2 in the afternoon. And if you want more information, you want to register, you want to find out how to attend, you can call our senior adult program at the El Paso Community College at 831-7801. And we'll see you in a few minutes. Thank you, Rosa, for being with us.
Thank you. We're back again, but this time we have switched. I am Mary Yañez, and she's Rosa Guerrero. Or I'm Rosa Guerrero, and she's Mary Yañez.
I like that better.
Yes, but Mary Yañez is a friend of mine for a long, long time. How did she start? Mary, I'm going to ask you some questions.
Okay.
Number one, how long have you been with the El Paso Community College?
Well, let's see. I started in October of 1973. I had been working at UTEP for about 8 years, and I was in the duplicating center. at UTEP, and so when they were advertised for a position of supervisor of duplicating, when the college was just starting, I decided to apply and I got the job.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yes.
And you've done marvelous things, and you've learned a lot through the community college in different areas.
Yes, over 43, 44 years.
Can you
now.
imagine? Can you imagine? I remember the 70s when I started at the barracks at Logan Heights. You were there, but I met you and really got acquainted with you with your printing. You were printing with Israel, Father Arturo's brother, over at community college, and you helped us a lot. For Women's Month, you helped us with all the printing with Marta Arat, the late Marta Arat, the artist. She had all these beautiful prints that the community college did, and they were fabulous. Tell us about that.
Well, what happened is that when the college started with the duplicating, as the college grew, the department grew from duplicating to an in-plant print shop. And so I became the print shop manager and did that for about 17 years. And then I transferred over to the senior adult program in 1989 and as a coordinator of activities, because I had done activities in the community and they'd heard about the activities that I had done with youth, with LULAC. And so that was a community service volunteer. Did it for 5 years. Very successful conferences.
Very successful. You invited me to be a keynote speaker. You were the best youth director for LULAC. We need somebody like Mary Yañez to come over and get all these youth involved with LULAC. League of United Latin American Citizens need the youth to come in because we're dying. Many of us are moving out, we're dying, and we need new reinforcement everywhere, everywhere. But we need reinforcement with values, reinforcement with discipline, with a lot of respect. We're losing a lot of respect and values and all of that, and you were wonderful on that. I remember you inviting me to do that, and I was honored. I was honored. And all the things you've done, my goodness gracious, as director of the senior program here, you have had classes, you have had wonderful, wonderful, great opportunities for the seniors. Every February, you always had a Valentine's wonderful love conference. Yeah. And it is the February.
23 years now we've been doing the love conference.
How many?
23 years.
23 years. How many of you have been in the love conference? If not, come on over. February 17th, I'll be the keynote speaker.
Yes.
Mary has invited me, and I'll be the keynote speaker, and I'm so proud.
Yes.
Because you're going to learn a lot. I'm going to teach you many things, and, I'm going to show you a lot of things that I have learned, what I've done in life, and all of that, and you will participate. I want the senior citizens to participate. Mary, in all the years that you have been at the community college, and working with the seniors, I admire you very much because you went back to school to get your BA and your master's. You never stop learning. I'm going to tell people, you never stop learning.
Yes, and I received my bachelor's from UTEP at age 50.
And
I remember Dr. Natalicio hugging me and saying, you did it, because you're right. We can go back to school whenever it's more convenient. As a single parent, you couldn't really go full time. No. But then... No. And then as time passed, you can reach your goals. You must set your goals and reach your goals. So at age 50, I got my bachelor's. At age 50, I think it was 54, 56, I got my master's.
I'm so proud
and
of
I'm
you.
working like a little bee.
And
so are you.
Well, we've always, worked hard. I think keep on going. We have pains, yes, back pains, knee pains, all of that. It doesn't matter. And some of us are a pain sometimes. Yeah. Many of us are a pain, But you continued. And I think it's wonderful. And I tell people we have continuing education at the community college and at UTEP. Yes. Lifelong Learning Center at UTEP. I was one of the founders, which is great because I also taught over there and I taught over here. And
You've been a promoter of education all your life.
Yes, I've taught babies from 2 years old to 100, which is wonderful.
Oh, my God.
Universal, all ages, all levels. But I'm still learning.
Yes.
I'm still learning. There's so much to do as a senior citizen. You never stop learning. I want to tell everybody to come to the community college and learn anything. There's floral learning. There's the wonderful, it would be great to take some of the classes for cooking. Oh my gosh.
Nutrition is so important these
days.
The nutrition. We have to take care of ourselves.
Yeah, because we're the fattest country in the world. Dangerous. It is dangerous to be fat. Be careful. Eat a little bit. Poquito porque es bendito. A little bit is a blessing. A lot is a pig. You don't want to be a pig, un marranito, cochinito, o cochinote. You know, cochino, marrano, sucio, puerco, cerdo. You don't want to be a pig. And that causes diabetes, that causes high blood pressure, that causes all kind of vascular problems, you know, all kinds of problems from being heavy.
Yes, and you know, recently I've been talking with the Diabetes Association to see if we can partner and give and offer some classes.
Oh, that would be wonderful.
On nutrition and how to
Yes.
eat healthier, because it is an epidemic amongst our seniors, and
Especially
here in El Paso.
Mexican American and African Americans. We are very number one in diabetes because of our food, our intake. A little bit. This is a little bit, not a lot. Don't. You know, when you go to the cafeteria and stuff, they give you a lot, just a little bit. Ask for a baby's plate or children's plate or something, because it would be
eat half-
nice.
half
And then
of your plate.
drink a glass of water before you eat. A little lemon is fine and wonderful. Little lemon and citric acid is great for you to reduce some of the fat. It's wonderful, especially in the morning. Glass of water with lemon. You know, it's wonderful for you. But activity too. Don't be sitting down, couch potato, watching just TV all day. No. I watch one program, Jeopardy.
Oh, I love Jeopardy.
Yeah, I
because
love
we've got
Jeopardy. Yeah, but
exercise.
just to test my mind.
Yes.
And also, of course, your senior programs and educational programs. I love the creative program on 13.3. I love the cooking and all of that. But it would be wonderful for all of us to grow. You got to move. Mind, body, and spirit. I always call it like the Holy Spirit, el Padre, el Hijo, y el Espíritu Santo. Mind, body, and spirit. Don't eat too much. Don't drink too much. Don't sit too much. Move, move, move. If I sit a lot, now that I'm older and lost my husband, I can sit down and read like I've never read before. Pray like I've never prayed before. Relax like I've never relaxed before.
How about a nap?
Oh, a nap. And I thought it was a sin to nap. I thought it was a waste of time, you know. No, it's not.
Yes.
It nourishes you. Even the Pope takes a nap.
Absolutely.
And if he's such a spiritual man, I'm spiritual too.
That's right. Well, that's good advice for me and for our viewers, because we always want to give good advice to families and to grandmas and grandpas, and we want them to stay healthy, to stay active and engaged in community, volunteer. There's so much to do with the
Yes.
children at the schools, with the foster grandparents, senior companions. I mean, you name it, we will share information
And
for everybody.
you talked right about getting the Diabetes Association here to teach our people what to eat. The Mexican culture and the Mexican diet,
Yes.
it's okay, but we poison it.
Yes.
Too much of anything.
That's right.
The beans are wonderful. What do? Refry them and refry them, and then manteca.
Yeah.
La morel, you know, la manteca.
famous.
And that's killing us.
Well, you know what? I guess our last message in this little interview with you, and I'm so proud that, and you're my role model, and you've been a role model for all of us. You are going to be honored at the Love Conference with a Lifetime Achievement Award. I'm so happy about that. And so we thank you for switching.
And I thank you for switching. I am Mary, she is Rosa. I am Rosa, she is Mary, and we're beautiful. We're just beautiful. We want to give you a lot of love in the community. We thank you for being with us.
Yes.
Come February the 17th.
And we'll be back.
We'll be back.
Well, thank you for staying with us as a surprise and a kind of a pilon, we call it, you know. We have a couple of doctors that are going to be talking to us about a very important topic. And they are Dr. Patrick Buchanan, and we have also Dr. Armando Lopez, and they're audiologists. They have their own practice, and they are in their practice is titled Tinnitus and Hearing Experts. So how many of us really will admit that we're having hearing loss, you know? And as I hear, most men don't want to admit it. I don't know, but we'll talk about that. Thank you for being with us.
Thank you.
And I'm glad that you called us. How did you find out about mature living?
Through Estrella with the Senior's Guide.
Oh, really?
Yeah, fantastic publication.
That's good. And that's getting the word out of new practices, doctors, and you're partnering in this business. Tell me a little bit about yourself, Dr. Buchanan, and how you got into this career of being an audiologist.
My previous career was as an audio engineer for about 20 years, and I wanted to switch to something that would have me where I could be with my family and not be on the road all the time. And so my previous education lent itself really well to becoming a hearing expert and also working with the technology that we use. And it all just kind of fell into place.
And where did you, were you from? Houston?
Yes, ma'am. I grew up in Houston, but we moved here about 3.5 years ago, and my wife and I love El Paso.
Oh,
We don't
thank
plan
you.
to ever leave.
We love hearing that. As you might imagine, Dr. Lopez.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, he likes to know that.
yeah.
Yeah, he likes to hear
Exactly.
that.
You can't go anywhere anytime soon.
Tell me about you and how.
Myself, I grew up in New Mexico, not too far, obviously, from here, about 3-hour drive in Roswell, New Mexico. Went to school up in New Mexico State, graduated there, and from there, obviously, pursued my doctorate for audiology.
That's good.
Ended up coming back into this area. Love it. I've been here for 14 years now, and I wouldn't change it for the world. I don't plan on going anywhere, obviously, at this point.
Yes.
But El Paso has become home to us.
So tell me now about your practice. We'll talk about where it's located, but tell me what does an audiologist do, or what is an audiologist?
Well, an audiologist basically is a hearing care professional whose responsibilities are to diagnose and treat hearing loss.
Okay.
And that can also be related to balance issues that most people can have eventually as well. But we are trained to basically do the diagnosing part of that, and that's basically the gist of what an audiologist does.
Wow, that's amazing. And of course, balance. So many falls, and we think it's because of the knees, or we tripped over a pebble, but it might even also be related to the ear, to hearing.
Absolutely. Yes, the organ for equilibrium shares the same space with the organ for hearing in the inner ear. And so if one of them is unhealthy, then the other part could be unhealthy as well.
Oh, I see. And so you will, when a patient calls and you set up an appointment, do you do a kind of an evaluation? Do you have a conversation with your patients?
So typically, if they call, depending on what the reason may be, if it's for hearing loss, obviously we're going to do a full workup, a full diagnostic battery of testing. We obviously get a good case history as to what the issue is, where they're having some problems. And from there, we kind of go on and figure out exactly what's going on. We'll do, like I said, the diagnostic part of the test, and then from there, diagnose the hearing loss if there is true hearing loss, and then give them the recommendations as to what we can do to help out.
Wonderful. One of the things that I see, like at Sam's and different places, the hearing instrument specialists, and what's the difference between the audiologist, and those other people that?
Your audiologist is going to be better educated and better equipped, better trained to treat hearing loss. If you're having problems with your car, you're not going to take it to a new car salesperson. They're going to tell you, yeah, you have a problem with your car, let's sell you a new one. You want to go to someone who works on repairs. And so in this particular case, the people best qualified to treat hearing loss are going to be your audiologist, and specifically a doctor of audiology like ourselves.
Yes. And tinnitus, that's a new word for me. What is tinnitus?
So tinnitus basically is just another way of saying ringing in the ears, or some kind of noise produced by the ear. But this is very subjective. It's a case-by-case situation. Every person describes it very differently, from whether it's a buzzing in the ear or it's just a high-pitched. But at the end of the day, it's just a form of noise that the nerve is producing.
Man, you guys are really knowledgeable about your business. I love doing this interview because I'm learning, and I'm sure that our viewers are also learning. And one of the things that I have to ask is, what are the symptoms? I know we hear the women saying the husbands, they turn on the television very loud, but they don't want to admit that they have hearing loss. So what are some of the symptoms of hearing loss?
Well, TV being too loud, like you said, is an obvious one.
Yes.
If you're in a conversation and you find yourself saying what or huh on a regular basis, that's a good telltale sign right there. If background noise is keeping you from understanding the conversation you're trying to be in, these are the kinds of things that we can help.
Yes. And we have a love conference coming up in February, and I would love to have you guys have a table there.
We're looking forward to it.
Yeah.
We're going to be part of it.
Oh, wonderful. And then who is most affected by hearing loss?
Well,
I want to be prepared.
yeah. Typically, most people think it's going to be the adults or geriatric population that's most affected, but it is pretty much wide across. Children are also affected. A lot of the pediatrics, obviously ear infections are one of the big, most common issues that we got to worry about. And so when you look at signs and symptoms of hearing loss for pediatrics, typically it can be the same thing. TV's up really loud, speech may be delayed, tugging at the ears. So those are all telltale signs as well as far as hearing loss.
I passed by, just in regular traffic, and here comes a car, and it's got a big old boom, and even my ears are, and my car's shaking. And what about those earphone, hearing the music too loud? Tell me about, does that impact?
Too much exposure to too loud of a volume over too long of a period of time is going to absolutely have an effect on you.
And it may not be immediate. Could it be like later on, or?
Yeah.
It's very individualized in that way as well. For some people, it could be just like that. For other people, it could be cumulative over a long period of time.
Wow. We would need to take care of our eyes.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
We need to take care of our ears.
Mm-hmm.
We need to take care of our mouth and eat healthy.
Yep. And part of the thing is that hearing loss is also considered the hidden disability, because it's a disability that nobody can see. So you walk around and see somebody that's just walking down the street, you couldn't tell if they had a hearing loss or not. Compared to, say, they have some kind of paralysis to the face, things like that. There's obviously priority in what needs to be fixed, but that partly comes with some of the vanity that we have to deal with. But it's our jobs to kind of counsel the patients and explain to them what is best for them. Whether or not they want to go with the recommendations, that's obviously the patient's choice.
Talking about vanity, women maybe not won't want to wear an earpiece or something. So there's great technology, right?
There is, and it's miniaturized these days. They're so computerized. They're so small now. You don't have to have a huge thing. I tell my patients very often, I'm not trying to get you in your grandma's hearing aid. We can get something small, something more discreet, something not so obvious. And then these days as well, with the smartphones, we can have it all connected so that you can have your cell phone conversations directly without needing another device. You're hearing the conversation in your hearing aids, and they're able to hear you back as well.
At the proper
level.
level.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow. The last thing I want to ask is, please give us your phone number and your address where they can find you. Dr. Patrick Buchanan and Dr. Armando Lopez. It was so great to meet you, but give us that information.
So our address is 5959 Gateway West, Suite 101, tall white building right there next to Bassett Center. The phone number is 974-2250.
Great.
And you can call at any point to make an appointment.
Any last message from you, Dr. Buchanan?
On the topic of who does hearing loss affect, it's not just the person with the hearing loss, but it's the family. It affects the entire family, or people at work. It affects the workplace. It affects productivity in the workplace.
Yes.
And so it's not just an age-related thing. It's really the entire sphere of the people who experience the hearing loss. And we can help with all of this.
Wonderful. Wow, this is a great interview, and I really appreciate you taking time coming to Mature Living. And this is it. We'll see you all next week, okay, with more guests. I hope you enjoyed this show.